Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel for another 1/6 scale diorama base review. Now today we are taking a look at another product by Toysbox. Just recently we reviewed the Batman base on the channel. I personally fell in love with that diorama base. Therefore, I thought to myself, why not pick up another one from the same company? Of course, in a different style. Today, we are taking a look at the Captain America / Hydra themed base. It is worth noting that the company Toysbox does not hold the correct intellectual property rights to brand this as a Captain America themed item, so do bear that in mind when you are making your purchasing decisions. I picked up mine from toyswonderland.com. Link for that is in the description below for your reference purposes only. This is not a promotional video, this is a review on something I picked up for my own personal collection. With all of that out of the way, let's take a look at the bits and pieces that come with the base. First up, we of course get a dynamic bendy flight pole. It's a relatively sturdy piece, and you can see metal on both ends. You will see where this screws into the base a little bit later in the video. To go along with the rod, you also get a waist clamp. I personally don't think I'll be using this combo on the base. I'll probably more than likely have either Steve or Red Skull simply standing amongst the debris here. You also get a really nice high quality metal backed display base nameplate. Yes, it is metal, even though there is a glossy coating over the top. You can see that really nice brushed effect. Captain America Civil War and Toysbox. It's done in this metallic bronzy effect and it looks really good. Although I'm not exactly sure if Civil War is the correct branding I would have gone with. I probably would have preferred either the first Avenger or Captain America the Winter Soldier. Nevertheless, this is not attached to the base, so you don't even have to use this thing if you don't want to. But if you do, you can sort of decide whereabouts you're going to place it. It's pretty darn modular. So for that, I'm pretty darn impressed. Now, let's take a look at the base itself. First and foremost, it's a relatively big piece. So technically you could fit both Red Skull and Cap on the base, if that's something you wanted to do. It's also a pretty darn sturdy piece. I do believe this is made out of polystone. It feels like a stone material. On the underside here, you can see it does say Captain America Base Station. This one is not numbered like the Batman one was, but that's perfectly fine with me. You can see some foam pads, so hopefully you shouldn't go scuffing up your shelf when you place this relatively heavy base upon it. Now, let's talk about the paint applications, because some of them look absolutely stunning. This grey concrete stone effect is very convincing. Also down to the fact that it actually is made of stone. It sells that illusion very, very nicely. You can see multiple different layers of paint. There's dry brushing over the top to bring out the detail and washes in the crevices. Then we have some lighter stones, kind of like a limestone sort of look. There is multiple layers of paint in those as well. Then over the top of that, we have the brown. For me, the brown is the weakest color here. It actually has a bit of a glossy effect to it. It's meant to replicate a bit of a higgledy-piggledy brick kind of look, I do believe. I personally will be going over that with a matte spray just to sort of dull it down a little bit, because it's a little bit vibrant and glossy for my liking. Now, coming around the back, you can see the port where, if you really wanted to, you can go ahead and bring in the dynamic flight pole. It very simply, of course, screws into the base, and it's nicely hidden behind this wall here, or semi-section of a wall, so you can't really see where it's pegging into the base. And if you are clever with your posing, you can hide it quite nicely. I do want to make mention of this Hydra symbol because it is absolutely stunning. The way they have sculpted this is pretty darn impressive. You can see all the tendrils, but they also have the little suckers on the tendrils themselves, just like an octopus would have. You can also see a gash atop the front here. That is for a Captain America shield to slot into, like he's brought it down and cracked this Hydra logo. That's genius, I love it. Or you could have it wedged in there and then Red Skull standing triumphantly over Steve's body like he has defeated Cap. There are so many possibilities here. What we are going to do now though is get some figures out here and place them on the display base. First up, here we have the Sideshow comic book version of Red Skull standing on the base. This is my preferred combo. Right off the bat, I thought I'd show you how I'm going to use the base in my personal collection. I love the way this looks. There's something so sinister about the Sideshow Red Skull, then standing amongst all this rubble with the cracked Hydra logo. It just shows that he's either triumphant, in this case holding the Cosmic Cube, or even if you did have him on the ground, defeated by Cap, that would work equally as well. This display base isn't as versatile, granted, as the Batman one, which could go with Spider-Man or Daredevil. This one is more restricted, I think, to Avengers-style characters, obviously, because of the Hydra logo. But that being said, if you did have the comic book versions of the Sideshow figures, you could go down that route as well. I'm going to be having my Red Skull on the base in the collection, and I'm curious, let me know what you think of the various combos that we are going to go through in the video down in the comments below. Next up, here we have another Sideshow comic book style figure. This time, it's the classic Cap. This, to me, looks like $1,000,000. It once again elevates a figure into statue territory. The way the shield just perfectly slots in there, you can have Cap standing triumphant over it. I love the way this looks. It adds a certain flair to an otherwise relatively basic figure. A lot of people said the colors are a little bit boring. I'm inclined to agree, but when you pop him on this base, I think the entire thing comes to life. I did say in the previous clip I will be displaying this with my comic book Red Skull on it, but now seeing this, I am very, very tempted to make this the permanent display in the collection. I am definitely going to have to rely on all of the comments to let me know which way I should go, because this, in my opinion, looks pretty darn awesome. Next up, because the display base nameplate specifically for some reason called out Civil War Captain America, here we have that version of Cap on the display base. It's been a while since this guy has been out of the cabinet, I'll admit, but now, standing atop this base, yeah, he looks totally badass. But was there ever any doubt as to whether or not he would? I mean, it's a really good Captain America figure. It's not my personal favorite, but it does work really nicely on the base. The more muted tones to the outfit do blend in quite nicely, and it does look like a really badass display option, like I said. You can, once again, take off the shield and pop it in that crevice just underneath the Hydra skull to give a little bit more pizzazz. Or if you wanted to have Cap coming in and smashing that shield down on it, that would work as well. Either way, so far I'm really liking how this base is coming together with these various figures. And lastly, here we have Endgame Captain America standing on the base because I know everyone wanted to see this combo, me included, and I think it looks totally awesome. This is my favorite design for Cap in the MCU, and now seeing him in a mini environment, yeah, kind of brings the entire thing to life. I also love the way this one looks. That's the benefit of these diorama display bases. It doesn't really matter which Captain America you have, if it's comic based, if it's movie based, or even if you have Red Skull. They are going to work really nicely on the display base. You could also go potentially with a Winter Soldier figure, with an Iron Man figure. There is an infinite amount of combos that would work perfectly on the base. I will attempt to show even more mashups in a future live stream, so you do have to let me know which ones you want to see, because, yeah, as I said, this base can work with a bunch of different figures. Now, as I said in the intro, I picked up mine from toyswonderland.com. The link for that is, of course, down in the description below, and they do have 12-month installment plans available if you are a fan of paying off your figures, and in this instance, bases, over time. Also, while you are down there, why not check out the link to 6 Scale Network, the awesome Facebook group. Come along, chat figures, share photos of your collection, and of course, see what's coming up next on the channel. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next video.